Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Calls Friday Night Chill stream. Got a pretty relaxing show, to be honest with you. I am exhausted. You can see no glasses this evening. There's quite a funny story behind that. But thanks for tuning in. Just give me a moment as I get everything situated the way that I am needing to for chat and everything. But I think we're going to have a pretty fun show this evening. Mostly we are going to look at some baseball, as opening day is less than 7 days away. So we're going to have a good time bringing up some baseball statistics and prepare for opening day and see if there are any matchups that we're looking to exploit that we know are going to happen. The second regular to the stream will probably make her presence known, as she is very, very hyper at the moment. But thanks for tuning in on this Friday evening. Hopefully you've had a very good week and are ready to relax for the weekend. There is the second regular. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I am exhausted. It has been a very long week doing a double tournament week, edit videos and all that stuff. I do have the baseball kind of statistics, if you will, all loaded and whatnot. Whoopsie. That's definitely not what I wanted. I've got all that. Oh, great. Now what the hell did I just do? That's going to really bother me. So now I got to mess with this. But let me know in chat what you are wanting to look at this evening. We can take a look at some golf. We can take a look at some baseball. And I'll be mainly focused on the baseball. But if you have any questions regarding golf, I'll be more than happy to bring all that up and whatnot. Where am I looking? I need to remove the... Told you the second regular would make her presence known. I am looking to remove the print lines. Not any of that. Stop. Well, maybe if I just close this. But as you can see, I am very ill prepared this evening. So I'll get my act together eventually. But in the meantime, how are you all? How's your week been? What are you most excited for this weekend? Alright, so off to the side, actually, let me see, let's bring up a new tab. Hey Joey, good evening sir, thanks for jumping in chat. How has your week been? Are you ready for the scramble tomorrow? I'm certainly looking forward to it, although with the forecast being what it is, I don't know how useful I'll be. But it should be fun regardless. I don't have anything set in stone for this evening, so hopefully we'll just kind of hang out. Any questions from chat I'll take a look at, but the second regular is going nuts, as you can hear. And I don't have my glasses, which is a pretty funny story to that. Let's see. Spring training. Then I believe it starts Thursday. Have you been watching March Madness? I hope we don't blow. Yeah, exactly. 30 mile an hour winds, 40 mile an hour gusts. That sounds fun. But we'll get the full professional experience of having to play in that. And we get 4 shots to try to come up with a decent one. Alright, so So they do have the pitching matchups out. So I'm going to put this over off to the side. And we're going to prepare for opening day next week. At least that is what my intention is for this evening. So I'm going to open a blank workbook and just start from scratch here. But I can start off, I guess, by showing you the good from this week so far. You were here for the Corrales on Wednesday evening. You can see that there is a lot of green here. I've been pretty darn close to right on a lot of things at the Corrales. We had Wyndham Clark, Thomas Detry. I was very, very high on Ben Martin, who's been playing very well. You can see of the 11 lineups that I turned in or submitted for contests for the Corrales, 7 of those 11 are 6 of 6. In fact, every single player that I used in a lineup, minus 1, made the cut. So a very, very solid start to the Corrales. The one player I used, you can see there, Ryan Gerard, misses the cut, but I think he's going to hurt a lot of people, as Gerard was 15.5% owned. That's about what he was at projected for on Fantasy National Wednesday evening. So I'm very pleased with my performance so far at the Corrales. And in fact, oh my gosh. So I just saw that San Diego State had beaten Alabama, and now I see Miami is beating Houston. So craziness everywhere in March Madness. Love it. Love to see it. I will say my wager, because I absolutely put a win ticket on a team at the beginning of March Madness. They are still alive into the Elite Eight. So I will be pretty darn happy if that comes to fruition. I think there was something like 18-1 to win. I am gathering or loading DraftKings over here. I'm just going to update the points real quick, and we can look at the lineups that I have, that I generated, submitted, and what I did wrong and right and all that stuff. So just give me a moment and I'll update that. Oh, man, sorry. Like I said, I am exhausted. It's been a long week. So you can see all the numbers there changed. You can see the top lineup up here, just in terms of numerical order. 87th. Oh gosh, that's bad. I've used my 100, like the worst, because I generate 100 lineups per contest. Well, I actually chose to use the lineup that has the lowest amount of points right now. Ugh. That's not good. Having said that, I've used 16th best, my 4th best. Very strong. Dang, just missed the 3rd. My top, 95, I didn't use. Clark, Detry, Michael Kim, Gribble, Garnett, and Campos. Campos played very well today down at Corrales, but so far, done pretty good. I'm cashing, I think, half of these lineups. And of course, the big pitch and putt. This lineup's actually not cashing at the moment, but is 6 of 6. So I like my chances of cashing with a 6 of 6. If I scroll just a little bit, not a lot of lineups aren't 6 of 6, but there are a few. So I got a little bit of work to make up, but nothing that can't be done. But yeah, so my Corrales has been very, very good. The match play, however, has not. I actually don't know who won the last match of the day today between Ricky and... So Ricky won 1 up. Alright, so let me update that just real quick. So he went 2-1. Played a lot better than I thought. Keith Mitchell, 2-1. I was not very high on Keith Mitchell. Anybody highlighted in yellow is somebody that I used in my lineups, but I'm not going to update the points per se, but there's a look at the lineups that I submitted for the match play and how they performed. I've got a few 3 of 6s that aren't too bad. Cantley 3-0, Xander 3-0, Horschel 2-0-1, Kuchar and Poston. I mentioned on my stream Tuesday evening that I was top five putter. Yep. God. I mentioned how I was pretty high on Poston, and of course, I picked Kuchar to go pretty darn far. He was the player that I used the most. Used him in 9 of my 16 lineups that I submitted for the match play. But you can see some just. I had 2 lineups here that didn't get anybody into the knockout stage. I think the better the Kuchar does, the better I'm going to do. And while I was high on Noren, I still used Scheffler. I knew Scheffler was going to be tough. So I've got some Scheffler, I've got some Horschel, Kuchar, Xander. Very, very high on Xander as well. Used him 6 times. I was surprised to see Tyrrell Hatton not play well, but once I saw the wrist injury or wrist that he was dealing with on Wednesday morning, I knew that was going to be a little bit of some trouble. And then Kevin Kisner really underperformed this week, so that kind of hurt. I knew Noren was a gamble down here, but I was willing to take that gamble. He had been very good in match play, and there wasn't really anything to gain by taking Scottie Scheffler a bunch because he's the most popular player. Well, this is 30, just over 30%. So I was, going to try to gain some leverage there. Didn't work out. I still made sure I have some Scottie Scheffler. But anyway, there's a look at how my lineups are going for the Corrales and the match play. Corrales has a lot of potential. Stop. Corrales has a lot of potential. Again, 7 of my 11 or 63% of my lineups are 6 of 6. So actually, this probably is the best I've performed just in an overall sense when all but one of my players made the cut. I like that. Like that a lot. Patrick Rogers missed the cut. He's 25% owned. So I'm liking my chances there. Now, I did stay away from Dylan Wu. He's playing really well right now. Again, that was all based on the wind and long course metrics that he had been struggling at. Let's see. Who else missed the cut that was very... Yeah, Chad Ramey. He withdrew. So, stop. So, yeah. I'll leave it on the Corrales in case people want to jump in and chat. But let's move on to some baseball, shall we? And opening day Thursday, we're going to try and find some of the matchups that we might want to exploit or depending on pricing, take a look at. So, the first one, and I'm just going to go straight down the schedule here from MLB.com. The first one we have is the Atlanta Braves. So Atlanta at Washington. Damn it. The scheduled starters are Max Fried and Patrick Corbin. Have you seen my baseball? Hey, have you seen my baseball? I have not. I have not seen your baseball. I have not seen your baseball. If that's a reference, I am not getting it at the moment. But then again, I am exhausted, so it could be very obvious, and I'm just not there. But for Atlanta, they have Max Fried, so we'll grab all this. We're gonna have to change this up a little bit. It looks like, unfortunately. Like I said, I apologize. I don't have a whole lot prepared for this evening, so I'll get my act together. Maybe in time. Maybe. What time does that scramble start tomorrow, Joey? Is it 1? Is that right? And then for Washington, they are countering with Patrick Corbin. 2 p.m. Registration opens at 1. All right. And you all are getting there at 12:30? My goodness. Don't waste all of your good shots on the range. I'm hoping you're not counting on me for a lot of them. With that much wind. Ugh. Okay, so if we take a look here at, again, I gotta hide these columns. I don't think they're going to be too round 1. Mike will be there early. Yeah, well, Mike hits 8,000 shots a day, so all the power to him. All right, so we have Fried and Corbin for Atlanta at Washington, the first game on the slate. And I'm going to see if DraftKings has baseball, DFS baseball up and going yet. I know they've got best ball available, but I am more than likely just going to be looking at daily, will be my guess. So Fried, especially last year, much better. Now Corbin was semi-successful against lefties, but you can see the rating here against right-handers is atrocious. Very, very bad. Very bad. Yes, they do have some ready. The opening day specials. All right. And the prices are out too. Good deal. Good deal. So, we're gonna add a not nifty little column here and hit price. We've got Freed and Corbin. Freed sitting at 8,100. Stop. Callie, stop. And Corbin is at 6,200. Okay, so again, having not used these or this site analytically, we're going to be going through this together and see what works, what doesn't for this site. So the higher the number, the better for a pitch, for a player. If we take a look at Max Fried, both left-handed starters, clearly Fried better against lefties, but he's still pretty solid against right-handers. You see the fastball, his sinker was excellent last year, and his changeup was spectacular last year. So hitters that struggle against a changeup or a sinker or not what you want to look at or take. Fried, 33% or 1/3 of the time will use his four seam. 22% of the time curveball. He generally pitches out of the zone or at the top of the zone, or that's at least where he's at his best, is out of the zone or at the top of the zone. He's out of the zone 48% of the time. Okay. That might be a little small for you all to see. I'll zoom in for you all. He has a 25% strikeout rate. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. And he's ground ball pitcher mainly. Whereas Patrick Corbin is decent against lefties, but really struggles against righties. His changeup was really, really bad. He didn't use it often, but it was really bad when he did. He uses his sinker the most, or his two-seamer, and it was not rated very well at all, very highly. You can see his ratings just garbaggio. He only had 17% strikeout rate. He has 7.5% walk rate. That's not very good at all. And he's a fly ball pitcher. So that tells me that we're going to be looking at probably some right-handed power hitters for Atlanta. So let's bring in the hitters for Atlanta. And until we know who, we'll just bring in everybody. Yes, I know I've logged in the DraftKings. Thank you. So for Atlanta, immediately we're going to want to look at right-handed hitters to exploit Patrick Corbin and his suckiness against right-handed hitting, or against right-handed hitting. And again, some of these players won't have all of their stats, so I'll remove Eli White and the other one. Again, we're going to be focusing on right-handers, so Austin Riley, 4,600. Minimum. Of course, he might not be on the opening day roster, but if you are just now joining, appreciate you joining on a Friday evening. Hopefully your week has gone well. Just gathering some pricing for opening day. As we prepare for baseball season. Stop. Goodness, the second regular to the stream is not happy about something. 26. $39. Cunha 57. I do wonder, Joey, who all is going to be there tomorrow. Because like I mentioned to you, I recognize a whole lot of those names. This scramble is actually, it's an AAU baseball team, and I used to coach this team way back. So honestly, we just want to look at versus lefties, since we know Corbin is left-handed. And then we can grab all of this. I know the Watts team won't be there. The weather might scare some people off. Yeah. We'll see. Oh, hell. This is against fastball. Damn it. Now I'm just going to have to do this individually, aren't I? Ugh. Upsetting. Alright, so all of this and this looks good. Looks like it's in order. Of course it's not. What's getting cut off? Forcing, cutter, sinker, slider, curve. Change splitter. What? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, these. Stupid. This is over here. Aha! Got it. And of course, we'll have to take a look at the forecast and stuff like that when it's closer to game time or game day, see what the wind's going to do, all of that kind of stuff. But if we look at the Braves lineup, and I'm going to, let's see, probably freeze these panes. All right, so with Patrick Corbin here, we're looking at the Braves offense. And particularly, we're going to be looking at we want to focus on right-handed hitting due to Corbin's struggles against righties. Anybody that seems to be pretty good against a sinker, which he uses most of the time, or he's pretty bad with his changeup. He doesn't use it often, but the times that he uses it, he's been pretty bad. So let's see here. Anybody spectacular against the sinker? And again, I would have no idea what the great numbers are versus not, but if we look at, here's an 80. Sure, that seems pretty strong. So let's highlight the 80, 71, 52, 85. Although he is left-handed, he does fare well against a two-seamer. And a 51. So all of these players are right-handed except for Harris. I'll put that one in yellow because he's left-handed. Also, players that are decent against a changeup. Looking like Austin Riley. Look at that. Matt Olson, 124. Oof. So he's very good against off-speed pitches. Acuna loves hitting changeups, and so does Travis d'Arnaud. So the two pitches that Corbin is the worst, you've got a couple of matches here. You've got Acuna, you've got d'Arnaud. You got Austin Riley too, that seem to match up pretty well against Corbin. From a numbers standpoint, I mean, really, anybody who hits right-handed would probably be on the table. But again, with Corbin using his sinker almost half the time, and it is one of his worst pitches, not the worst, but one of his worst, do you really want to exploit that? Now his four-seam and his slider are his two best pitches, really. He uses the slider fairly often, so it'd probably be prudent to look at who's good against sliders as well. Again, we're looking at somebody like Austin Riley. Now Marcell Ozuna comes into play. Shoot, he is a 66 on the sinker. Forgot to highlight him. Olson's also a 60. That's worth highlighting. Olson again. I'll do him in a little bit of a lighter shade of yellow since he's left-handed. Well, that's not really yellow there, is it? Harris. We've got Acuna again, and Vaughn Grissom I'll highlight, but I think they sent him down to the minor leagues. So there's a few players already that we can kind of key in on in this matchup against Patrick Corbin. Let's see. Corbin also an extreme fly ball pitcher, which we like that. Highlight that in red. So we want to look at players that are extreme fly ball hitters. 40%, we got Marcell Ozuna. That'd be very, very tempting. Can't hit home runs unless you get the ball up in the air. Luplow. Rosario, fly ball hitter, although he is left-handed. Riley, I'd probably do anybody above 35% maybe. See, Michael Harris, he's more of a ground ball hitter. Not to say that he can't hit home runs, but this would not be a matchup that would favor him for home runs at least. Albies, extreme fly ball hitter. Darno and Grissom. Grissom's 33. I thought that was 35.4. Okay. And with the low strikeout rate of Patrick Corbin, not too terribly concerned about strikeout rates for the Braves. Although Luplow has a pretty high one here at 29%. Austin Riley's 26. It's a little bit lighter shade of red. Trump. Hilliard, he's left-handed though, so I don't know if we would want to focus him on or not. Yeah, so we've already got a few players that we could absolutely be focusing on in this first game. You know, I would take a look at Austin Riley, perhaps Marcell Ozuna if he's in the lineup. Acuna would make a lot of sense, although he is going to be very, very expensive. Darno would make a lot of sense as well. All right. Now for the other part of this game, let's bring in Washington. Against Max Fried. And again, Fried being left-handed. Don't need to worry about the other. Dang it. But to prepare for opening day, Joey, I definitely had to listen to the first ever baseball game. Hello, fans. Harry Carey here. One of the all-time great skits on Bob and Tom. One of the all-time greats, for sure. And there, and we will delete. Classic, absolutely. Very, very classic. All right, so against Fried, again, he's pretty solid against both lefties and righties, although he is a little bit more susceptible, I guess I'd say, to right-handers. So that's where we're going to look at first. We want to avoid players that are bad against the sinker. This is an elite sinker, elite two-seamer that he has. He's also got an elite changeup. He doesn't use it all that often. Nothing to the level of 45% from Corbin's, or 45% Corbin two-seamer. But players that really struggle against the sinker, you probably want to stay away from. I'll put those in. I'll probably put those in orange. Again, having never looked at this site, I really can't tell you what a good versus bad would be. Just kind of, I just know that the higher the number, the better. So those are some pretty poor looking numbers. Although, like Joey Meneses here, even though Max Fried's got a very good changeup, he's very good at hitting the changeup. Something to perhaps think about. He is right-handed as well. But the way you exploit Max Fried, it looks like, would be off of his four seam, which he uses most often. Maybe his slider. So looking for players that might be decent at four seams and sliders for the Nationals. So Joey Meneses here, perhaps. Keibert Ruiz. Although overall against the lefty, not very good. Luis Garcia, again left-handed, but very good against the four seam. Stone Garrett coming over from the Diamondbacks, very good against four seams and looking against the slider. Corey Dickerson, although he is left-handed as well, and Luis Garcia, left-handed. Riley Adams, the catcher, decent against sliders. Okay. But not a whole lot to go off of here. Again, like Austin Riley, rated 100 against lefties. You've got Sean Murphy, 77 against lefties. Honestly, Olsen's pretty decent against left-handers. And he matches up looking seemingly fairly well, sinker, slider, and changeup hitting. Joey Meneses matches up very well against Max Fried. Candelario, a little bit. Sure. I mean, Candelario does hit left hand or switch, so perhaps something to look at there. But you see these porous numbers here. Joey Meneses would be somebody to perhaps take a look at in that Washington-Atlanta game. Let's see, Max Fried is best at the top of the zone. Players that are really bad at the top of the zone, Abrams, Victor Robles, Vargas. Candelario's pretty bad at the top of the zone. Okay. We see that Fried is a ground ball pitcher, which you like out of a pitcher. You don't give up the home runs if you're doing that. He's also got a fairly decent strikeout rate. So for the Nationals, players that might be able to get the ball up in the air on him, Candelario, Jeter Downs, former Boston prospect Keibert Ruiz, Riley Adams, Stone Garrett. Surprisingly, Meneses he's about even in terms of ground balls, line drives, and fly balls. Interesting to see. He didn't strike out a lot. That's a very good thing. This is a terrible strikeout percentage. This is a terrible strikeout percentage. 26.1 was a little less. 27. Oof, rough. everything, at least analytically, seems like it lines up for Max Fried. In that one. So, not too much of a crowd tonight, so, and the fact that I am pretty darn tired, I can see myself kind of wrapping up the stream. If people were on, I'd have hung out, talked about some different stuff, but if no one's on, then I'll probably call it a stream. Are you still there, Joey? If you're wanting to hang out, I can for a little bit if you have any baseball questions or whatnot. But other than that, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Shoot, 5,200. I'll stick on for a couple of minutes if anybody wants to jump in chat, have a question, or if you want to look at a particular game or player. Other than that, we'll probably call it a stream. Again, apologies, I didn't have all of this ready. It's been a long week. I'll definitely have this ready for Thursday. Let's go ahead and save this. Opening, if I can spell, day. All right. Well, like I said, it's pretty quiet tonight, and I am really tired after a double tournament week. Feel free to reach out to me on social media. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to tell you what I see, and then let me know as well how your lineups are going for the Corrales and for the match play. And thank you to Joey for jumping in chat. I really appreciate it. And I will be back Sunday evening for the Valero initial research show. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Watching, commenting, subscribing. Always appreciated. Until next time.